Florida State head coach Mike Norvell says his players are still struggling with not making the playoffs. That's how I kind of feel about not being in Friday's Tournament of Champions. Now, post-snub, we're hearing that the school has renewed discussions about its long-term future with the ACC as the conference falls further behind the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10. Elle Duncan, you buying or selling?
I'm totally selling this. I'm so sick of this. I'm so tired of Florida State blaming Next, they're going to say that the bad orange harvest is because of the CFP snub. Get over it. This has nothing to do with the CFP snub. I wrote down a quote, and I'm going to read it for you. And this is from the FSU president, Richard McCullough. And it says, "I'm not that optimistic that we'll be able to stay." Those were remarks in August about staying in the ACC. What they revealed was that FSU was their bell cow, and while they're arguing with the conference about potentially trying to get out of it, they needed that bell cow for the profitability that comes with a CFP run. Stop it.
You see what that means? Elle came with receipts. She brought receipts. Mina Kimes, buy or sell?
Well, Elle's receipts are from August. I'll take you back to May. That's when it was reported that 7 schools in the ACC were exploring leaving or working around their contract. This is, I think, money, and it is going back to a justification, but the real reason is money. The snub might accelerate it, but it is not the reason why they would ultimately leave.
Emily, why not just stay in the ACC, especially with the expanded playoff? They'll make the playoff every year.
Because they don't want to be there. They're stuck between a bowl game and a conference they don't want to be in, and these extreme measures like recruiting private equity to raise $120 million in funds to break an ironclad contract that they signed just a few years ago. Like, I understand this is much about pride of viewing themselves as this football power as it is about greed. So I understand where they're coming from. It's just really hard to sympathize with.
Everyone's got receipts. Pablo Torre.
Yeah, I think they actually wish they had literal receipts and a generous return policy on that grant of rights that Emily was referring to. This is a $120 million question. You can do this, and I dare FSU to do it. Just come up with $120 million to get you out of this deal 3 times the payout. So for me, Frank, if I'm FSU, what I'm really doing is I'm focusing my time on the fact that if I beat Elle Duncan's Georgia Bulldogs in this bowl game, I can plausibly claim to be the champion that no one respects. Instead, they're complaining about how they're disrespected. Go be about it yourself. Make it happen.
Doesn't matter where that Florida State women's soccer team goes. They're a dominant team.
Give me something. Light a cigarette just so I can breathe.